I've said in the past that there are only two skills that you need in life, and that is people skills and money skills. Now, interestingly enough, there's a skill that actually supersedes these two. And it's the most important skill, most probably, that you need to learn in life because it is so integrated in every single thing and in every single aspect of life that I cannot mention it or stress it enough. And that is the skill of prioritization. Because you see, in people skills, the way that you actually have people skills is you need to understand which people to prioritize and who to neglect. And then to prioritize them when you explain to them or try to negotiate with them, or when you make them feel valuable, etc. There are certain things that you need to prioritize in your speech, right? In order for them to feel valuable. But at the same time, there's also a set of order of things that you need to do in order for people to feel valuable as well. Okay, so you understand, like, there's the aspect of prioritization just is filtrated into every single aspect of people skills. What should I say? What is the sequence of how I say it? You know, which thing do I prioritize? Do I prioritize the tone of voice? Do I prioritize saying this? When do I sequence what I say in order for them to feel the most valuable at all times? Did you get what I'm saying? All about priorities. Same thing with money skills. When you are investing your money, you are making a decision that you're going to prioritize this specific investment rather than another investment. And so money skills is all about, again, prioritization. You cannot run away from the skill of prioritization. And so I'm going to explain in detail in this video, and I'm going to keep it short as well, on how to prioritize correctly and how this works in general. So first you need to know, what is life about? Because unless you know the purpose of life, so you see what becomes a priority suddenly, right? You need to prioritize, what should I have in my mind first that will get me to the land of my dreams of where I want to go? So I need to prioritize those things that are actually going to increase the probabilities of me getting the return on investment on my learning and on my doing that will take me to the end result that I desire. And that also will have an enjoyable journey along the way, right? What should I prioritize? I highly prioritize you understand the purpose of life. Now, obviously, you shouldn't be spending overly amounts of time on trying to, philosophize about all that crap and spend multiple years or going to college for it. Don't do that, okay? What you need to do instead is you just need to prioritize being with people who understand the purpose of life, or at least have found a way to understand the purpose of life in such a way that they derive massive joy from it, and then you adopt their mindset, right? Because then you now have sped up the process of applying a philosophy that will definitely be better than what you currently got, right? I've spent years trying to understand the purpose of life so that you don't have to. You can spend a day or two or a week or a month of watching all of my videos. You'll very quickly understand the purpose of life if you actually do that. And very quickly wrapped up in 20 seconds, the purpose of life is to serve other people. The purpose of life is to actually create joy in other people so that you in return can receive joy. The purpose of life is happiness at the end of the day, but it's different than what you think. It's happiness in serving others, in actually letting go of things and sacrificing things temporarily so that you can get a lot of it in the future. And that's how you prioritize correctly. When you prioritize other people, but in a win-win fashion, that's when great things happen long term. So all of this, you recognize that if you have the purpose of life, you understand that aspect, then you're like, okay, well, in what ways can I create the most joy for other people? You have to become valuable to other people in order for you to create joy for them. So how do I create joy for other people? Well, you need to develop some skills that makes you valuable to other people. If you don't have any skills, if you don't have utility, you're not useful for anything, right? And what happens then? Well, guess what? People deprioritize you. And so when you are not prioritized, this is when you feel not valuable. That's when your self-worth goes down the tank, right? And you're like, man, people don't like me. People don't prioritize me. I don't feel important, yada, yada. Who gives a rat's, bro? You're the one that needs to start prioritizing other people above your own self crap, right? If you focus and prioritize other people's needs before your own first, they will begin to prioritize your needs because you're creating a win-win situation. Over time, there's more demand for you because you've got skills that you can monetize, that other people need, that gives them joy because it helps them to achieve their goals. Suddenly, now we're talking. You're actually fulfilling the purpose and potential of your life by developing skills that actually makes you useful, develops joy for other people, and when it does, that also brings joy back to you, and guess what? You're fulfilling the purpose of life. And what is more joyful than fulfilling your purpose and your potential? There's nothing like it. This is why the greatest of the greats in business, and I'm not talking about just those that are making a lot of money, I'm talking about the greats in business who actually have made it on a grand scale when it comes to business, but also have made it when it comes to their relationships, and that have made it when it comes to their health, that have the abundance of life that you are seeking for. Those are the people that we should look up to. Now, there's very few and far between of these people, right? But the more you understand what true success and true wealth is, the more you'll align yourself towards that direction and prioritize it. And if you prioritize it, that becomes who you are eventually. It's all about priorities. So let me explain one more thing about prioritization. If you are prioritizing a lot of things, you are not prioritizing nothing. If you're prioritizing multiple things, you're not prioritizing any of those things. This is why I'm so intense about doing one thing at a time and doing that thing well, because that's actual prioritization, right? If you have multiple businesses, that means that you're neglecting all of them. If you have one business, that means that you are prioritizing something above everything else in business. And this is how you need to structure your life. When you are prioritizing something, you are literally neglecting everything else. And then sometimes you have to deprioritize the most important thing in your life, which should be in this early stage of your life, to make money and to build a business and to develop skill sets so that you can become valuable to the world, right? So that you can be helpful in creating joy for the masses, so that you can get joy back, right? So sometimes that prioritization of, the 80-hour work week, it takes a back seat during the day, right? Because if it didn't, that means you'd work 24 hours, but that wouldn't work either, right? Or would that mean that if you're prioritizing business all the time, continuously, that means you work 16 hours a day? No, that's not sustainable. Okay, so the universe has been designed in such a way that we actually have to create some sort of equilibrium in our lives so that we can create the sustainability on our journey. So the sustainability is by you doing the 80-hour work week, which is 11 and a half hours a day, 7 days a week, and then having 4.5 hours of self-care every single day, 7 days a week, and then having 8 hours of sleep, 7 days a week. And doing that between the hours, preferably of 10 to 6, okay? If you get really good at it, from 9 to 5 a.m. in the morning. When you're just starting out, you're probably going to try, I'll go to bed at midnight and wake up at 8. It's a great start. I'll do 11 and then I'll wake up at 7. Fantastic. But you want to get to the point where you wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, because that's when you're going to be the most productive. Anyway, prioritization, right? But I was just explaining that when you are prioritizing the 11 and a half hours a day, that is your main priority that day. But at some point during the day, you have to prioritize self-care in order for tomorrow's 11 and a half hours to work out. That means that you, for a period of time, those 4.5 hours, you're neglecting your business. But that's okay. That's fantastic. It's amazing. I'm neglecting my business with joy, bliss, and happiness. Even though I have tons of tasks that need to be accomplished, tons of things to do, I am happily neglecting my business for 4.5 hours today, right? Obviously, this is if you actually have a full-time, a business that actually pays you a full-time income. But do you get what I'm saying about this? So for some hours of the day, the 4.5 hours, you need to be very wise about how you prioritize those hours so that the 80-hour work week is actually sustainable. This is the same way when it comes to people. When you prioritize some people in your life, that's your inner circle that you're always going to have around for the rest of your life, those need to be priority over everyone else, right? It's kind of like parents who don't want to spend time with their own kids, but they don't mind spending time with other people's kids. How messed up is that, right? That's not prioritizing correctly. And it's the same thing with money. How are you prioritizing your money? Because whatever it is that you spend money on, that is your priority. So if you're buying a Lamborghini at an early stage in your business cycle, like in your business life, in your early 20s, I don't think you've understood priorities. Because the priority is to actually build a self-sustaining business that you can replace yourself from and create massive cash flow so that you can literally, if you wanted to, take the rest of your life off, and I never recommend that, but you could do that if you wanted to and still buy a Lambo 20 years from now because your business is still working and functioning, right? I mean, that's what we kind of want to build up. Obviously, that takes a long period of time. And to be honest, we never really want to stop working because work is something that you should prioritize for the rest of your life because work is service and service is what should be prioritized for the rest of your life because you're making yourself useful. If you're not useful and valuable to other people, you die because you no longer fulfill a purpose, right? And the universe understands that. Well, he's not really fulfilling a purpose anymore. Okay, what can we use him for? Well, he doesn't really want to do much. He's kind of forgotten what life was all about. Well, okay, I guess we'll just let him be. Like, what are they going to do for you, right? It's like angels are around us, and they're like, how can we help? Who should we help? Who should we prioritize? You understand that they understand prioritization, and you want to be the person that actually becomes prioritized by the omnipotent powers above, right? Because holy crap, that guy's doing some amazing things. We got to send all of our forces to make sure that everything kind of works out for him, okay? Because he's going to attract amazing stuff and he's going to create and become amazing and do these things and create so much joy, bliss, and happiness for so many people. We have to be in his life. And guess what? You end up being on the receiving end of the universe. What's better than that, right? Nothing, okay? This is a video about prioritization. If you understand prioritization, it's the ultimate skill to develop ever. And no one can debate me on this because prioritization is in everything, okay? So once you understand that, you'll begin to prioritize, hopefully, and then I'd recommend that you prioritize these videos, but also jumping on a call with me while you still have the chance. While I'm still available, bro, and giving you a free consultation, it's insane that I still do that. How long am I going to be able to do that for? I'm nearing 5,000 subscribers. Do you think that my subscriber count is going to stay the same? Oh, I got 6,000 next year and 7,000 the following year. Bro, if I keep doing what I'm doing and speaking about the stuff that I am speaking about, it's just a matter of time before we hit 20,000, 50,000, 100,000. How many free calls can I do at that moment in time? This is the time. Okay, send me a DM on Instagram at Men of High Value. Say, I want to book a call right now. I'm ready. I want to talk to you because I got this problem, this problem, this problem. I don't know what to prioritize. This is my expertise. Hit me up. I'll see you guys in the next one.